Hey everybody, John here. This is the BWO Weather Weekly Weather Briefing for June 1st, 2024. I have some big changes ahead for you that'll be transitioning this week. I think you'll like it, and I want to get to that right away, so let's get started. Well, first of all, threat assessment for this week. Let's see what's going on. It looks like we're going to have some severe storms in the upper Midwest, from the plains today in the upper Midwest, and some pockets of heavier rain I'll be talking about with that in this area right here. But overall, I don't see quite as much severe weather activity this week. It's more of a summertime pattern, at least initially. And what we have here is a level 1. And remember, the last couple weeks we've had a level 2 or 3 or even a 4. Would also bring to your attention the weather risk for unusually hot weather across the south, Texas, over the next couple days, gradually moving out to the west. So last week, another week of widespread severe storms. On the left are the tornadoes, sort of clustered around southern Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, and Tennessee. To the right are all the severe storms reports. And I find it interesting, I guess it sort of makes sense, is where we've had all these reports of large hail in the plains, and then as it moves across into the Ohio River Valley, it turns into wind reports or derechos, and that's typical in the life cycle of severe storms. They sort of start out with the potential for tornadoes and hail, and then they start to sweep to the east more as windstorms. And that's what we've seen here. These are our hail reports, and this is our widespread wind reports. Now, over the last week, we did have pockets of heavy rain, especially in Kentucky and Wisconsin, parts of Iowa and Minnesota as well. So the upper Midwest has been not as active as far as heavy rain, but it has been just recently, and this week it looks like it could be again sort of busy. So if you're in that area of red, especially dark red, that's where fields are pretty swamped, especially in this area right in here, maybe central Wisconsin. Temperatures last week, the rain kept temperatures down in the upper Midwest. Green and especially blue is below normal. Yellow and brownish is above normal. And look at Texas. That is averaging for the week 6 to 10 degrees above normal. And that's an area that's typically, as you know, really hot. So we had temperatures last week were somewhat moderate over most of the Midwest, pretty close to normal, I think. These areas here in the upper Midwest below normal. But take a look. This is the hottest temperature of the week. Yellow is in the 90s, and Texas is in the 100 degree plus, and it looks like a little purple there, 110. Now, I've been talking for quite some time, all the way since winter, I believe, on the areas we're looking at are right in here, the southwest U.S., and then Texas and parts of the southern tier of the U.S. and Florida as the areas that look to me from a modeling standpoint that are going to be the unusually hot summer-long type patterns. And we certainly saw that last week. Okay, so as far as dew points go, we have some muggy air that has pushed up to the north here. We're going to have a front pass through this week, but ahead of that we have some muggy conditions. Not too bad, 60 dew points, 50s and 60s. That's nothing compared to what we might see in another month where we have 70s, but a little bit of summertime feel in the air. Now you might be wondering, that rain in the upper Midwest, what has that done to rivers? Well, we do have some minor flooding, even some moderate flooding at isolated spots, but overall minor flood wave coming down the Mississippi River, generally north of St. Louis. Now, I mentioned we're going to have some changes. Well, this is the current jet stream pattern. We have that high pressure over Texas bringing the hot weather. But by the middle part of the week, we have an amplified flow. And what I mean by that is the jet stream bulges to the north in the western U.S., sags to the south in the east. This is going to be associated with a significant transition to cooler air. And this ridge, or pushing north of the jet stream, is going to be associated with a significant transition to hotter air, or warmer air. So we look at temperatures here. Take a look at this. Well, the next several days, we're ahead of this cold front that's going to come through, and temperatures are above normal. But look at this, the second 5 days, over the entire Midwest, large parts of the nation below normal temperatures, and that's going to go at least into the middle part of the month of June. So it's going to be generally this time of year, considering mid-June. I think that's going to be some pretty pleasant weather. A little bit cool. Now, if you have a swimming pool you're trying to have warm up, yeah, that could be a little frustrating because we're going to probably have some cool nights with that. And that's also a stable weather pattern, so I think that is going to tamper down our severe weather activity. So rain this week. Well, here's our rain this week. You can see we still have some pockets of some heavier rain, and it's certainly replenishing the soil moisture. Most of the area will be getting some rain over the Midwest. So we're looking pretty good over most areas, and I guess I'm overdue for an ag condition update on one of my posts, so maybe I can do that this week. Now let's look at week 2, and like I said, cooler than normal. Look at this, 6 to 10 day, 8 to 14, and this is that drier air. So we are going through some rain this week, maybe some stronger storms, maybe some heavier rain. Front comes through, cooler and more stable into the middle of the month. And generally that's a pretty decent type of weather pattern. Now with that transition, to end our briefing, keep in mind some of the storms could be strong, some of the rain could be very heavy, and it does look like we're going to have that heat continuing in the south part of the nation this week, shifting to the west next week. So I've said it many times, but transition this week from some warm and muggy weather to some cooler, stable air that's going to head into our area and last through the middle of the month. That's this week's weather briefing. Y'all have a great week. Take care.